Hello, this is Tara. Welcome back to my channel. First of all, a couple of, disclaimers. So one, I'll probably cough or something throughout this, and you can probably hear it in my voice. I've not been very well for the past week or so, and I'm still recovering. Two, we are at the beach, as you can hear. So I already tested the sound, so I know you can hear me, but you will hear obviously the sounds of the ocean and the waves behind you. I don't think that's anything to complain about, I guess. I thought it'd actually be quite soothing and relaxing. And also, I am going to be drinking this Super Bock beer while I tell this story, which I already know you know what it is based on the title. So I'm just gonna open this up, take a sip. But I'm trying to get more comfortable with recording in public and speaking in public to my camera, because obviously I'm a solo traveler. So if I don't get used to that, that means nothing will ever get recorded, and I won't ever film anything outside, which would be a shame. So, like I said, based on the title, you know what today's video is about. It's about the nightmare that I had on the day that I was coming here. Oh Lord. It was literally one of those things where everything that could possibly go wrong went wrong, and I nearly didn't make it, but I'm here, so I did make it. But yeah, there will probably be a couple of other stories as well like this, because this is just the story of that one day, but I also wanted to tell the story, and I wanted, I don't know, like the whole process of even getting here was really difficult, and I think it would be a good, like, I'm sure a lot of people will struggle with the same things that I struggled with, especially, with the downsizing stuff, letting things go, and even then still having too much stuff, blah, blah, blah. But that will be a different video to this one. So this one is just the story of my first day, or what was supposed to be my first day here in Portugal. I'm in Sesimbra, by the way, Portugal, Sesimbra, and I arrived on Tuesday night, which was the 2nd of November, PM. It was meant to be AM, but that leads me right into the story. So how do I start this? I don't think I've ever told a story time before, so I guess I'd start from when I woke up. So I woke up that day, I'd set my alarm, I'd pre-booked my Uber to come and pick me up. My flight was for 7:05 a.m. So we had to get to the airport for 5 a.m. And I was about 20 minutes away by car. So I pre-booked my Uber to come between between 4:25 and 4:35. Well, however, I had a bit of a unique situation where, excuse me, even though I was traveling by Uber, I had quite a lot of bags. So by a lot of bags, I mean 3 very large bags, 2 carry-on bags, and then like a big handbag, and then this bag that I had all like my electronics in. It was quite full actually. All my electronics were in there. So as you can hear, I had quite a lot of bags. So one of my friends, Sarah, love you, she was supposed to be driving me originally, but then her mom had said something about the suspension of the car, blah, 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 blah. So she couldn't drive me fully, which is why we ended up having me being in an Uber, and then her and one of my other friends, Miguel, love you too, driving there, with the other bags. So I had some bags in the Uber, and then they had like, I think, one bag or something with them, and some smaller bags. Sarah and Miguel were driving separately, and I was in the Uber. But the issue ended up being Sarah had to go pick up Miguel, which was obviously in a different direction to where the airport was. Stop for gas. Gas? Am I American now? Stop for petrol and stuff like that. So I got to the airport at 5, like literally at 5 a.m. The gate that I was supposed to be at wasn't even open yet. So plenty of time. But unfortunately, Sarah and Miguel, by the time they could even like come then and help me with the bags and stuff like that, arriving, finding parking and all that, it was now already like 25 to 6. So 35 minutes lost there. Which then meant, and the reason they were even really there, one was to say goodbye, and one was to get any stuff that I would have to take out of my bag so I wouldn't have to throw it away, because we kind of knew that I would probably most likely have to do that. So we prepared for that in advance, and rather than, like I said, than me throw my stuff away, they were coming so they could collect that. Anyway, we now get to the weighing the bags and the checking in and stuff like that. The bags are over. Even the one bag we thought, this bag definitely isn't over, it was over. They were all over. That's the other thing. Don't do what I did. Be stricter with getting rid of your stuff. For sure, be stricter with getting rid of your stuff, because it is not worth it when you get to the airport and you're having to faff around, and like people are looking at you because you're having to like take stuff out of your bag and all that. But I mean, not that I care about people looking at you, but it's just a faff and you don't want to do that. Anyway, so we're now faffing, we're now getting stuff out. I'm literally like taking stuff out. Miguel's going to weigh it. I'm, like one of those tag teams trying to be fast, trying to be quick. We do that. The bags are finally within the budget that I'd already paid for. So we go in, we finally get my bags to go through. But at this point, it's now been like an extra probably 20 minutes. So it's gone from me being there at 5 and being on time to them not being able to actually get to me till like 5:35, to now all of the faff with the bags costing an extra whatever minutes. So by the time I actually get to security, it's now like just after 6, right? And the airlines are obviously quite strict about, when should you get to security? But this is not relevant yet, because at this point I'm still on time. Everything is still fine. I didn't even have to wait in a queue at security. It wasn't packed. I just went, I think I waited probably for 5 minutes. And the guy in front of me was just taking so long. Like there was one guy and I'm like, dude, you just stood there. Can you hurry up? But anyway, I get through security. Obviously, I've mentioned that I had like 2 hand luggage. I had like a handbag, and I had my bag full of electronics. You obviously know what the airport is like. I even had to wear like my heavy boots, which meant that I was wearing Doc Martens, and obviously you have to take those off. So, and I had this big ass coat as well. Again, when you're trying to trick the measurements and stuff. So I had a really big coat with me and stuff. So basically, I had a few buckets worth of stuff, or trays, whatever, going through the security line. Anyway, all of my bags get through security apart from like 2. One was my electronics bag, because I clearly hadn't taken out enough stuff from it that needed to be taken out. And then the second, which is the bag that cost me this shit, the second was one of the carry-on bags. So I'm thinking nothing of it. Obviously, we've been stopped at security before. They quickly search your stuff. They realize you don't have anything, and then you can go through, right? But this second carry-on bag, it's not moving down the line. So it's not even like it's moving towards the bit to be searched. It's just, they've just stopped it, like right where the security x-ray thing is. They've just stopped it there, and it's been now like quite a few minutes of it just being stopped. But I'm not thinking anything of it again, because obviously I know I don't have anything. So this bag isn't moving. They're just keeping it at like the security bit, just with the, just where the x-ray machine, where they normally pass, they're just keeping it there. And I'm just, again, I'm not thinking too much of it because no one's said anything yet. Anyway, so as the guy's like searching my stuff, I then obviously point out, hey, that bag over there is also mine, because again, I have nothing to hide, so of course I'm going to admit it's mine. So that bag over there is also mine, just so you know. I was saying this so he would just get all my stuff and search it together, but then he just goes, oh, is it? Okay. And then he turns around and, to some other guy that looks senior and just goes, it's hers. And I was like, okay, what's going on? Again, I'm not worried. At this point, I never worried. That's the weird thing. I was never worried at any point because, again, why would I? I know there's nothing in there. So the senior looking whatever, I was going to say TSA, we're not in America. What are they called here? Airport security. Yeah, airport security comes up to me and he goes, is that your bag? The normal airport security questions. Is that your bag? Did you pack anything? Did anyone ask you to pack anything? Do you know if anybody else had access to your bag and put anything in there? I'm like, no. Like, meaning, yes, it's my bag. Yes, I packed everything. No one had access to it. No one added anything. I mean, my friends had access to it, but I know they didn't open it and put anything. So I was just like, no, all mine, all packed. He starts asking me what's in it. Bear in mind, when I packed these bags, and I've got loads, I don't remember every single item I packed in every bag. Like, what am I, Rain Man? So I'm like, I don't know. I start, I'm saying like it's miscellaneous things. I'm obviously explaining that I'm starting a digital nomad thing. So I literally have everything I own with me. So there's going to be a bunch of like random stuff in there just miscellaneous people stuff. I start naming some things like, a humidifier or, some fairy lights, just naming things because I don't know why he's asking. And he keeps going, do you have any food in there? I was like, no. Because do you have any chocolates in there? I'm like, no, I don't have any chocolates in there. And then he goes back. And then the guy continues searching me. This guy now, everything that was being searched, that's all fine. I get that back. I'm now just to the side now waiting for that bag. Bear in mind, guys, time is going. So my flight's at 7:05. It's now probably 20 past 6 or something, 25 past 6. And I'm like, my gate's gonna close in a bit if it's not already closed. Like, I need to go. Like, what's really going on? Anyway, he goes back. He looks at the screen again. He's whispering to some people. Like, few minutes, comes back. I'm just trying to figure out, like, what you have in there. And I'm just thinking, sir, I've already told you. I've got miscellaneous stuff. I literally have no idea. And I'm wondering, why isn't he just opening the bag? You can open the bag and we'll see what's in there, like normal. But he's not doing that. He just keeps, literally, this kept going on for like, I don't even know how long at this point. He must have gone there, checked the screen, come back to basically ask me the same questions. And then he starts asking me about, what am I doing? Where am I going? About my job, like asking me, what does your company do and all this stuff? And I'm like, what is really going on? And I was like, look, is it okay if I just open the bag so you can see there's nothing in there? Because I'm really confused. And then I say to the other guy, look, my flight's at 7:05. Do you know how long this is going to take? The guy then looks at his phone and goes, crap. They radio in to basically say, hey, we've got Tara here. I don't know who they radioed into. And he's like, radio in. I don't know who we radioed. She just basically say, oh yeah, I'm there, blah, blah, blah. And then for some reason, I think that then prompts them to like then open the bag. So they open the bag and it was fucking dishwasher tablets. The thing that was appearing weird on the screen was dishwasher tablets. To the point that I blame myself. Why did I take those dishwasher tablets? I really have a problem with letting things go. That's one thing that made me realize that. And I think I still have too many little bits that I need to get rid of. Okay, so yeah, that showed me that I have too many things that I still need to get rid of, which I am going to do here before I leave. Quick side note, I've already made this decision that I'm going to downsize even more and send another full bag, as in the 32 kilos, back to Chester, to England, so my mum can collect it with the stuff that she sends over to Africa, which is a bit of a shame because now I wasted a bunch of money paying for that stuff to come here just to pay more money to send it back. But I guess I'm grateful that I got to or getting to learn the lessons early on in this journey and not later on. And I guess it's good that I'm in a position that I can afford to learn these expensive ass lessons. But I'm also making these videos so hopefully you guys don't have to learn the lessons in the expensive way that I did. But yeah, anyway, going back to the story. So he now is like, crap, for some reason their whole demeanor changed, and they open the bag, they see it's just dishwasher tablets, and they're like, oh yeah, make sure you know that you're not packing these dishwasher tablets with like, and I had like this, I don't even know what you call it, just like a container that had just a bunch of miscellaneous stuff in there that, again, they were saying on the x-ray machine was showing up weird, like they didn't know what these things were, which again, completely fair play. I don't blame security, I blame myself in all of this, because one, my bag shouldn't have been that heavy to begin with. Like, I knew they were too heavy, we all knew they were too heavy, which is why we'd prepared for us to be, you know, have people so they could take the stuff that I had to take out the bag. But two, I just the whole security thing, the whole packing my whole freaking life, even though, guys, I do have to give myself some credit that I did go from like not even 10 years worth of stuff of living on my own, because I still had stuff that I had before then. So downsizing is a lot. I blame myself. I really do blame myself. There's no one to be angry at but me, really. Anyway, so after they obviously say all this, they quickly close the bag, and they must have felt bad about it, because they now radio in again, and like the main guy who was the one questioning me the whole time says to the other guy, who is clearly like his subordinate, and says, can you take her to the gate so she doesn't miss her flight? As in literally like take the back ways, go through the staff entrances, like not going through the whole airport, but like literally going around the back to get there as quickly as possible. So we're like going, I'm asthmatic, by the way, it's relevant to the story, but like we're like obviously now rushing through, like we basically have no time, like we're talking no time. At this point the gate's probably slowly being closed, but we're like rushing through the airport. I can't really run because of the stuff I'm carrying, plus my asthma, plus everything else that was already going on, and I felt really ill. Oh, I also forgot to mention that I was throwing up all morning. Like literally when I woke up, I took a shower and started projectile vomiting. I'd already thrown up about 3 times that morning, so I still feel sick, I feel weak, I feel whatever while all of this is happening. I should have started with that, but keep that in mind. So we're running through the airport. So of course, whenever you're late, your gate is the furthest away. It was literally the furthest gate away in the little section of what the gates were, like literally. And I was like, wow, of course it is. Of course it is. So the gate was 12, and when we were at 9, the announcement came through that specifically, you know, when they mentioned the person that's missing from the flight, and it was me. The announcement came through when we're at gate 9 on our way to gate 12, basically saying, Taranari, this is the final call for your boarding. Taranari, this is your final call for your boarding. And I'm like, okay. We can make it, because if they're calling me and we're at gate 9, that means I've only got 3 gates to go. They're still there. They're going to wait for a few minutes, right? And we literally need just 2 minutes at this point. To the point where the security guy in front of me, he runs off and he goes, I'm going to run off and and make them hold it, because again, I couldn't run with the stuff that I had and I felt really sick, so I couldn't run. So he runs ahead, and as I'm then like rushing ahead thinking, oh my god, I've literally made it by the skin of my teeth, this is going to be such a great story, before I even register what's going on, the girl just looks at me and just goes, yeah, you've missed your flight and you're not getting a refund, in a very blunt and almost mean way. And I was like, okay, I don't know why she's being mean to me. I haven't done anything, but okay. She's literally said, you've missed your flight and you're not getting a refund. I don't even know how to explain how I felt, because I don't think I felt anything. It was really bizarre. It was actually strange. Like nothing at all. It was just immediate acceptance. I didn't try and argue. I was just kind of like, okay. Like, that's literally all I could say. I just went, okay. And then I sat down. And because of my reaction, her demeanor completely changed. She went from being like quite mean and blunt, again for no reason, I hadn't said anything to her, it was literally as I was approaching, to being like really apologetic all of a sudden, and like trying to help and being like, oh, there's other flights, like even going on Skyscanner to like look for, for the alternative flight or whatever. Because, I mean, they could all see how dejected I was. And then there's even the security guy was trying to say, oh, you really can't give her a refund. It was our fault. We kept her at security for ages. And then they were like, well, no, because she got to security too late. She should have got to security before. I don't know what time they said. They were like, she should have got to security before, blah, blah, blah. So no, unfortunately. And I think there's a way for them to track when you get to security. I didn't know that. But apparently they knew when I got there. And they were like, yeah, no, sorry, there's nothing we can do. But like I said, she was trying to help. She told me, there's another flight, but it was with a different company. Ryanair was the alternative, because there were only 2 flights to Portugal that day. EasyJet, which was the one that I was supposed to get on, the one that I missed, which was in the morning, and then the Ryanair one, which would have been later in the day. The issue I have with Ryanair, and why that wasn't the one I booked to begin with, is their shitty baggage allowance, which is a maximum of 20 kilograms. It's that airline pisses me off. 20 kilograms is their maximum, right? A lot of airlines, their maximum is 23. However, you're able to purchase excess up to 32 kilograms for the majority of airlines, which is what I'd done with EasyJet. I had bought extra baggage to allow for 32. Of course, it's more expensive, but when you buy it not at the airport, it's cheaper. And I'd already factored that in. With Ryanair, they go up to 20 kilograms, and then any excess above that, you have to pay at the airport, and it's 11 currency. I'll say 11 currency because on their website, they told me €11 for every extra kilo above 20 kilograms, right? So I'm thinking, okay, that's about £9-ish, blah, blah, blah. Tell me why when I got to the desk, it was no, it's 11, whatever your currency is. How exactly does that make sense? Which meant that I had to pay £11 per extra kilo. But if I was in Europe, I'd have paid €11. So if I was in South Africa, would I have paid 11 rands? I don't understand how that works, because those things aren't equivalent. Why should I pay more just because of my currency? It just doesn't make sense. That's one thing that they need to fucking fix. I don't know if I can swear, it's my channel. That's one thing they need to fucking fix, because are you mad? Anyway, so bear in mind how much extra that I had, right? Bear in mind how much extra that I had. So when I paid for everything in the maximum way that I could pay for it, when I bought my ticket, as in adding the extra bags, adding an extra checked bag, blah, 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 my ticket came up to like £160. The excess baggage fees alone ended up being £363. £363. So in total, I've now paid £500, over £500, for just the Ryanair flight here, and the £231 that I'd lost with EasyJet. I've actually just made that calculation fully for the first time, sat right here. And it's just kind of hit me again how much money that is for a trip from the UK to Portugal. Even with the excess bags, that is still a lot of money. That's like, so all in all, my expensive lessons, which haven't ended, but my expensive lessons so far were totaling around 700 and something pounds. I'm not doing proper maths, I don't have a calculator. 700 and something pounds, right? Okay, it's whatever. I'm now at the airport because I got my ticket, but remember, I still feel sick, I still feel whatever. I end up just like sitting in the toilet at one point because I needed to be near the toilet. I had too many bags to sit outside and keep going in because I'm like pushing around this massive trolley with all my bags around the airport. And security comes in because they're asking me if I'm sleeping rough. I was like, what is going on today? I was like, no, I just feel sick. I'm sat in here. They're like, oh yeah, we just got a report that someone was sleeping rough in the toilet. I was like, I've been in here 5 minutes. Can people calm down? But anyway, they understood. They were like, okay, but obviously you can't stay in here too long. But of course, stay here for a little longer until you feel a bit better. Then you kind of have to find somewhere else to go. Anyway, I ended up spending, obviously, that whole day at the airport. Checked in, got in, whatever, got on the flight. The flight then gets delayed. And I was literally sat there going, okay. So my morning flight doesn't get delayed. Literally leaves on time. Everything goes to plan. But whenever it's a flight that I'm not going to miss, that doesn't go to plan. Ooh. But yeah, that's the flight that doesn't go to plan and ends up being delayed. But at this point, I just didn't care anymore. And I was just like, just get me to Portugal. I just couldn't deal with the day anymore. So it went from me having to arrive to Portugal at 10 a.m. and I didn't get here till, I think the plane arrived probably at like 9 or something. But that's not where the expensiveness ends. But yeah, so I arrive and I'd already checked how much the taxi is supposed to be and stuff like that. And it was like around €40 if I was getting the normal taxis rather than an Uber. Ubers are a bit cheaper, but the place that you get the Uber is a bit far, and I had way too much stuff to even attempt that. So I had no choice but to go to the people outside. The first red flag should have been when I asked, how much is this going to cost? And he went, oh, I don't know. It's on meter. Because I was like, I was informed by quite a lot of people that normally you can get like a price. But at this point, bear in mind my day, I was just like, okay, maybe this is how it normally works. And the meter will show the normal price. And I just need to get home at this point. I just wanted to get in. I kept feeling like, oh, what else is going to happen? And I honestly couldn't be asked to deal with anything else happening. And I was like, oh, okay, screw it, whatever. Got my stuff in the taxi. The taxi guy was quite nice. Like, you know, we had a bit of a conversation in the beginning, but I was quite tired. And the journey wasn't short. It wasn't super long, but it wasn't short. So I just kind of then relaxed in the back while he drove. Initially, he told me, oh, it'll be about 20 minutes. And it wasn't 20 minutes in the end. It was about 40 minutes, if not more than that. Which I'm starting to think, because there wasn't any traffic. It was at night. So I'm a little bit confused about why it took so long. And how do you go from 20 minutes to over double the amount of time that you'd predicted? But anyway, I didn't think anything of it. It's only when we'd finally arrived. Again, he still hasn't told me the price. Like, he even gets like stuff out the car for me. Like, he was really nice, helped me with like my Airbnb. We couldn't figure out how to get in for a while. He didn't want to just leave me, which was quite nice. He didn't say that, but it was clear that he didn't because it was quite late. And there was someone sleeping rough just right next to the building. I didn't feel threatened or anything, but it was quite clear he wanted to help because he even, when I was calling my Airbnb host, He even took the phone and was like speaking to her in Portuguese. Not that he needed to, because she speaks English, but he was quite helpful and helped me. He made sure that I was in before he left, which I really did appreciate. But when it come to, he still couldn't tell me the price, because then I went, oh, how much is it? Because I got my money out, which was about €50. I was even going to give him a tip of like an extra €10, because I thought it was going to be maximum 40 like it said online. So I got 50 out, and he points, and I'm like, what is it? I can't see what you're pointing at. And he keeps pointing, and he goes, oh, look at the meter. And I'm like, I can't see, for some reason, like the meter was tiny, like I couldn't see the figure. And I was like, can you just tell me how much it is? But again, he's not telling me how much it is. He just points. When I look, it's like €76. I was like, are you kidding me? I was literally like, are you kidding me? Not to him, to myself. I was like, oh, I was not expecting it to be anywhere near that much. And also the fact that he wouldn't say the price out loud is what's making me think, what did you do here? Did you take the long way around on purpose so you could make some extra money, or what? Because why are you embarrassed to tell me how much it is? If that's how much it is, why wouldn't you just say it out loud? He literally, I'd asked him so many times, how much is it? And he kept pointing to the meter, kept going, look at the meter, instead of just telling me the price. Anyway, it's whatever. There was a cash machine just there. I just got it out, thanked him, and he left. And then I was finally in, and I guess I was ill for the rest of the night. I didn't, when I got in, I realized that a bunch of stuff that I'd left was actually quite some important stuff. One was like my adapters. I realized I didn't have any adapters. Obviously my batteries on my phone and stuff were going down. I was like, oh crap, here we go. But anyway, that's where the nightmare ends. That's where that particular day ends, where it was probably one of the most expensive days of my life. So including that 76 extra pounds that I then had to pay, well, not pounds, euro. How much is that in pounds? Let's quickly estimate about, I don't know, 68. I don't know what the exchange rate is, but all in all, that day cost me pretty much about £800 in total. The trip from Manchester to here. Actually, that's only, we're not going to even count the Ubers, the Uber that I had to take to the airport. We're not going to count that. We're not going to count it. We're not going to count the parking for my friends that I, also had to pay for. Well, will have to pay for. We won't even count all that. Just the flights and that taxi, which was like half a scam, half really nice. It was that taxi experience is the most weird one, because he was so helpful and he was so nice. But at the same time, I know for a fact that I wasn't supposed to pay €76, sorry. I know I wasn't. Because why wouldn't he say the amount? Why are you embarrassed to say the amount? If that's the amount, that's the amount. And I know that's not the amount because I did my research before I got here. But yeah, please learn from me, guys. 1, do not get in a taxi. The lessons to learn. Let's start from the beginning. 1, if your very first trip, allow more time, regardless. Even though I had allowed the amount of time you're supposed to allow, I had obviously other people that I had to factor in. If it's just you, if it was just me, I would have probably been okay. But again, it's no one's fault but my own. 1, allow more time in general. Even though my gate wasn't going to be open till 5, get there earlier if you need to. Start weighing your stuff beforehand if you know you will need to weigh your stuff. Start weighing it before, right? I should have probably done that while I was waiting for Sarah and Miguel to come to me. I should have started weighing my stuff instead of taking stuff out. But hindsight is 20/20. But that's why I'm making this video, so you don't make the same mistake. So that's lesson number 1. Lesson number 2 is I don't even know. Like, the stuff that you're going to be taking onto the flight, as in your cabin luggage or hand luggage, please think about what you're putting in there. Think about how things will look on an X-ray. Just be more mindful. And actually, maybe even write a list if you're like me and you have a bunch of loads of miscellaneous stuff. maybe write a list of what you have in certain bags. So if you are getting asked, by security, and you can't help but have certain things in there, you do have, some quick answers, and you're just going, I'm not sure, it's miscellaneous, because that probably sounds even more suspicious. And then 3, make sure you're not only researching how much your taxi should cost from A to B when you're in a particular country, especially ones you're not familiar with. Make sure that before you get in the taxi, before they put your bags in that boot or anything, before any commitment, settle on a price. Honestly, settle on a price. Unless it's Uber, settle on a price. Uber is great because it's Uber, you know exactly how much you're paying. But with the traditional taxis, honestly, yeah, do not get in a taxi until you know exactly how much it's going to be and you guys have come to an agreement on the price, so you don't have any freaking nasty surprises like I did. Or better yet, have something pre-booked before you get there if it's possible. Have somebody come pick you up before you get there if it's possible. But really, if it's not possible, if it costs too much extra money, just do make sure that you have agreed on a price before you go in. That's definitely one of the biggest things I will say. And the biggest one is, as much as we try to convince ourselves, look, I went from my entire life to just these bags you see right here, because that's exactly what I was telling myself. Downsize, do it, downsize even more. Do not travel with 3 bags. I mean, if you have no choice and you really have to, that's fine. But just make sure you are meticulous with those weights. Make sure you know before you leave your house, before you leave wherever it is that you are, that you know the weight of your bag. It can never be 100% accurate because those airport scales might say something different. But it shouldn't be above, you shouldn't be surprised too much. It should be maybe 1 to 2 kilo difference, give or take. But please, those excess baggage fees, they will cut you. They will cut you deep. So let's not do that. Let's not be silly anymore. Like I said, these were the expensive lessons that I learned on literally my first day as a digital nomad. First day all of this happened. But I'm grateful that it happened in the first day. I'm grateful it all happened together, because now I've learned those lessons and I do not need to learn them again. You do not need to tell me twice. And hopefully no one will need to tell you twice, because I've told you the first time again. So yeah, be mindful, be more prepared, be more organized. And I thought I was the queen of organization. Clearly not. Be more organized and be prepared for any of these things. Make sure you have cash as well in the currency of the place you're going to, even if it's a little bit, just in case you get there and you need cash for something. That's another thing that I would say. But anyway, that is it from me for this particular video. I want to enjoy the sunset now and just chill for a minute. And I'm so excited to be able to film more of these videos for you guys. I'm finally here. I can't believe it. And yeah, hopefully no more expensive lessons, but whatever I do go through, whatever I do learn, discover, I will definitely always share with you guys. Before I go, I'll show you a little bit of the scene, and I will see you soon. Peace. I just realized I'd nearly ended my video with peace then. That's not my sign off. Here we go. Love, light, and learning your lessons only once. Have an amazing one. See you in my next video. Bye.